Bonsoir. Welcome to the newcomers and welcome back to the others. Today we'll go on with The Passioneer Memoirs, Chapter 2. A Stag's Heart. Harry took great care to prise open the next page, and he read well into the night. Finally, after all these years, someone was giving him clear answers about his father. Funny thing was, such answers were coming from his father, from beyond the grave. The problem was, it was nothing to what he had expected. Wondering if he should even read this, yet yearning to connect with his father, Harry was soon lost within the pages of a time forgotten. So there you have it. I was raped. I admit it. Satisfied? My cousin who lived close by to me, and I had gone to my home for that last week of summer. It was just after the last full moon of that summer, when Mooney went to Canada with his father for a few days to help him work on expelling some poltergeist that had inhabited someone's home. That is pretty much where this mess started, so I take it from here. I remember it in vivid detail, unfortunately. There is a lake behind my house. The weather was hot, so after we had cast a consolement charm, my parents are both horror, so on both of our spirit status, it will barely last a day. Sirius and I hit the water to cool off. Harry stared. Sirius and cousin? What? Was this Sirius Black? Was it Harry related to Sirius Black? With a yelp, Harry tossed the pages to the end of his bed and scooted backwards away from them. He clutched a pillow to his chest and eyed the pages as if they might spring to life and kill him. These writings were causing more questions than answers. After several minutes, Harry picked them up again to continue reading. He was reading for his father's sake. That was all. What's a spirit tattoo? Oh, come on, Siri, I snickered. I dare you! Don't care, Sirius sputtered, crossing his arm and putting his nose in the air. I'm not doing that. You're going to go skinny dipping if it's the leg thing you do? I will if Remus does. Remus has a lot of scars, I pointed out, so he's exempt. Harry paused. Remus, as in Professor Lupin? Was this the same one? He did a few scars on his face. Good Merlin! Had he been raped too? Or attacked some other way? Whatever, Sirius complained. There you are. Sirius and I both jumped to our feet. Orion Black was walking toward us, focusing on Sirius. What do you want? I asked. Sirius is being very naughty, a woman's voice sounded behind me. I wheeled around, only to come face to face with another more distant cousin, Bellatrix Lestrange. He needs to be taught a lesson. I fumbled for my wand, but it was too late. She had grabbed me by the hair and whirled me around by pinning my arm behind my back so hard and fast that it hurt. I felt her wand at my throat and noticed Sirius was in a similar predicament under his father's grip. We were whizzed away by sidelong apparition and ended up in what could only be Sirius' home. I had never been here, despite being family and pure blood, us Potters and Blacks Couldn't be any more different than if we were bred in different worlds. Blacks hated anything impure. Remus was mudblood to them. And worse, if they ever found out his condition. My side of the family were considered blood traitors, and were to be cast out, like any of us Potters cared. Sirius was the white sheep of the black family, which was why he spent most of his time at my place instead of his own. The moment we hit the black marble floor of the foyer at the base of the main staircase, Orion threw Sirius down to the floor. Sirius made hardly any sound. He was used to the beatings. His father was horrible sober and demonic drunk. I smelled a lot of liquor. This will be bad. Where were you 3 days ago? Up you arse! Where else would I be? Sirius retorted. Prat does never learn. His father kicked him so hard in the side. Sirius was actually flipped over. I struggled to try to help, but Bellatrix pushed her hand against my developing Adam's apple. Bloody hurt like hell. You were in France, weren't you? Sirius rolled over on hands and knees. So what? Hanging out with that mudblood Lupin again, weren't you? Don't call him that! Sirius and I snarled at the same time. I, meanwhile, felt a panic. That was a full moon 3 days ago. If they knew Remus was a werewolf... Ah! Harry flung the pages aside and sat bolt upright in bed. Wait, if that Remus Lupin was Professor Remus Lupin, who disappeared regularly and claimed some great illness, then okay, he was a werewolf. He could only be Moony, named Moony. Harry blinked, then let out another screech. He now had 2 marauders. One of them was his professor. It was looking more like they were close friends than mere acquaintances. Yet Lupin had never offered any information on James Potter. In fact, it was nearly impossible to wrangle anything out of that professor, not even if you beat him over the head with chocolate. Harry punched his bed, feeling angry at Lupin. Why was the professor wasting time instead of talking to him? Or did Lupin not like Harry? Thinking back to the few times he had questioned Professor Lupin about Black or his father, Harry realized that the answers were meant to evade. Damn you! What won't you talk to me then? His next thought was to confront Lupin when they would start on the anti-Dementor charm after the holidays. Then he cast the idea aside. If Lupin was a werewolf, it was best not to confront him. Ever. His father knew him, knew his condition, yet was still friends with him. So Lupin couldn't be all that bad. Still didn't want to explain why he wasn't speaking. If they knew Remus was a werewolf, they would slaughter him. You were supposed to be here, Sirius, his father was bellowing. Your wedding day, remember? You've been engaged to her since you were 3 months old. Yeah, and that bitch Spurrblood Fells. Sirius spat. Sirius, I warned. Merlin's sake, why was he so sick sometimes? His father kicked him on the chest, knocking the breath from his lungs. Bellatrix yanked my hair in order to keep me quiet. I could feel the great stag within me screaming to burst out. But I shoved prongs aside. It will only expose Remus and get me tossed in Azkaban for 1 year, for I was an illegal animagus. That's it! Harry put the memoir in his nightstand and held up his hand. I'm done, I'm putting it away. Prongs? James Potter? An illegal animagus? Harry thought back to Professor McGonagall and how she could turn into a cat. His father could turn into a stag. Harry checked around outside his curtain, but everyone was fast asleep. He had set up a silencing charm Hermione had taught him before reading to block out the cracking of pages. Now he was grateful it blocked his outburst as well. He took a few moments to absorb that new information, then, with a stubborn slap to his bed covers, he snatched the parchment back and continued to read. I learned the stag late into my 4th year. We all learned animagic when we figured out Remus was a werewolf. The 4 of us were able to form a pack every full moon. We are all illegal, even Remus. Though Dumbledore is taking care of him, no werewolf was ever supposed to get an education. Remus is the first. My reckon was now a 60-point spread, a fine hunter's prize. I could have gouged this monster before they blinked, but a marauder's ultimate duty is to protect their werewolf. Prongs submerged, displeased. I know what you do at Hogwarts, his father ranted. Every single mud-blood girl has given their virginity over to you. If I ever find out you have produced children with them. I know safe sex, Sirius snapped. I rolled my eyes. I've walked in on that Yonkers mating habits more times than I care to count. Something about this is amusing, James. Orion was now glaring at me. Damn it. Had I been smiling? Oh, damn, I'm in trouble. I felt my hair rise, and I think so did Bellatrix, since she made a noise of surprise, and looked at me weird. I shook my head violently, forcing my horns back in. It was a good thing my hair was messy. The first points sprouting up were invisible. But the entire stag bursting out will be. We did prongs, I whispered. Yes, I said. So. Orion advanced on me. You blood traitors don't care. Nope. I smiled softly, knowing I was doomed. I was already stitching myself up for a long bout with Crucio. I've tried everything to get Sirius in line, Orion snarled as he came to stand nearly nose to nose with me. He never listened. He associated with mad-bloods, sleeps with some. Now he skipped his own wedding. You know how hard it is to undo a magical bind like that? Yet he runs around with mad-blood woman. And having a marvelous time, I said, waiting for the Tartar spell to hit. His hand hit my head instead. I would have been thrown sideways if it weren't for Bellatrix holding me up. My glasses clattered to the floor. Don't you dare sass me. He stepped purposely on my glasses, smashing them. No matter, since that stupid werewolf loves chewing on them, I have like a bazillion more at home. I can repair them with magic, since the werewolf venom interferes, so I have plenty of spares. overgrown puppy. I just smiled wider at the thought. I was already screwed, so what did it matter? "Leave him alone!" Sirius screamed. He got up to charge at his father. "Creature, hold him!" Orion pointed at Sirius. The demented elf lifted a finger, and Sirius was rooted to the spot. Orion turned back to me. "You know, you have family, unfortunately. You're the one leading Sirius astray. It's high time you were taught some manners." I licked blood off my lips. "Why, thank you." An odd sort of look crossed the vile man's eyes. This was it. I braced myself for the curse to come. "Come here!" Orion snarled, snatching me from Bellatrix's hands and throwing me into the stairs. As I was only wearing swim shorts, the rest happened too fast for me to blink. I hit the stairs, their sharp edges gouging my chest in a few areas. I flipped onto my back to stand up, but wasn't fast enough. Sirius and Orion were both screaming. Prong pranced wildly within my heart. I was so glad we had both sought to put concealment over our tattoos at that moment. Orion was suddenly on me, his hand around my throat. "I teach you a lesson in proper behavior, pure blood. Dad, no!" I had an abrupt feeling of being exposed. I was suddenly feeling the edges of stairs digging into my chest again. Orion slammed it to me, and I screamed. Harry closed his eyes and laid the thing aside. He wasn't expected his father to actually go into details. He face-planted into the pillow and dug both hands into his hair. Maybe he should follow his father's advice. Maybe he shouldn't read on. Or perhaps skip that section and see if he couldn't pick up the other marauders. Or perhaps skip the section and read it later if he felt like it. He flipped over onto his back, then sat up. Or should he read it now and get it over with? His father went through it. Harry sat still for half an hour, contemplating on how to proceed. He touched the parchment, feeling their age. One leather loop was ripped. The thing was falling apart from being left in the dust and air for nearly 20 years. Harry knew then that if he skipped ahead, there was no going back. So should he skip it, ignoring his father's pain, which he had seemed so desperately to try and heal, or should he read on, gaining an understanding of that pain? Wait, why didn't he use prongs? Harry let out a low growl, fit for a trembling werewolf. He would have to read it all to figure that one out. Sure, protect the werewolf. But if something this drastic happened, why wouldn't one protect oneself? Joe said he picked the memoirs up once more. Orion slammed into me, and I screamed. My God, it hurts. No, no. This was not how I was supposed to lose my virginity. I was supposed to be for Lily. I've been moping over that girl since I was 11. Not this. Sirius was screaming, but I forced myself to concentrate on prongs. The stag wanted to come out, but I couldn't let it. The man inside me right now, professional werewolf hunter, I wouldn't let him anywhere near Remus. He was my werewolf. I suddenly felt Beatrix at my head, She wrenched me up by the ear, and I lost touch with prongs. "Please don't come out." Sirius wasn't helping. I knew he was held in place by that house elf, but he kept screaming at me, James, please change! I can't!" I somehow managed to scream back the moment before I figured out why Bellatrix had pulled me up. She had grabbed my full length in her hand and was now dragging her nails along it, leaving cuts. I gritted my teeth, half against the pain and half against the damn stack. "No prongs, you'll kill Remus." It felt as if my head would split in two. My rack was demanding to burst forth. I forced it down. I began to feel pressure building up in what was supposed to be Lily's gift. My body was giving in those sexual demons. It was being forced to give. I grabbed at a pole in the banister and tried to stop it. I pulled myself hard up the stairs, trying to get away. Orion wrenched me back, and the pole I was holding onto snapped. Then Bellatrix went under me and replaced her hands with her mask instead. She would actually bite me a few times. The next moment, I felt myself give in to what my body demanded, but my mind rejected. Lily. I thought of her. When a stag is in trouble, it will bugle for help, a long, piercing whistle. So, in human form, I felt that call coming on. I bit into my arm, letting out an involuntary squeal as I went off her, ignoring my first and possibly only orgasm I thought of Lily, wishing I was with her, not this beast. I knew then I could never touch Lily or anyone else. It had all been taken from me, and I was not free to give. I punched the stairs. I was spread upon with one hand as the pleasure high finished and Bellatrix released me. I hate her. Orion left me. Bellatrix yanked me aside, again by the ear. It's amazing. I kept my rack down this long. The stairs hit my side, and then my back. I sat up, only for a nanosecond, yelling in a fresh wave of pain. I went back to my side, putting my face to the cold marble stairs as I panted and sobbed between painful, protesting jabs in my entire body. I couldn't believe what had just happened. I lay still, trying to catch my breath, feeling blood drip from my chest and inside my legs. I closed my eyes, wishing I could die.